Okay, we're going to go over the muscle car offense. And it's essentially a 2, 3, 1, where we create two offensive triangles and we can move the ball around the perimeter. And it's important that all players keep moving their feet. You're V-cutting in and out. Your crease man is moving around the crease, away from the ball, to the ball sometimes, but constantly moving. Again, players are V-cutting in and out to get open. But let's go over the rules real quick. Rule number 1, you got to maintain field balance, which is essentially the integrity of the triangles. Just imagine there's a rope connecting you with the other players in your triangle. And as that rope pulls, it pulls you across and around through the triangle. Now these triangles don't have to be perfect. They can be right triangles, they can be left side based, right side based, it doesn't matter, but you need to maintain the triangle. If one member of the triangle cuts through, the others have to follow to maintain field balance, or we end up sitting on top of each other, making it too easy on the defense to cover us all. So that's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is when the ball is passed from one triangle to another, you cut through. Now you cut through again to make the defense adjust, but you could also cut through, and if the defense is sleeping, you could get a good pass back. So just a give and go like in almost any other sport. Basketball, soccer, hockey, you name it. So that's rule number 2. Rule 3 is when a player dodges, both triangles rotate with the ball carrier. And this is just good basic lacrosse. As the midi dodges down the alley, the attack wing cuts through. And he cuts through to keep his defender from just sloughing in and picking up the midi, and he cuts through to be a threat. Rule number 4. Anytime we dodge, that's great. In this case, you dodge down the alley. If you can't get the shot off, you'll make a pass. Well, if the next person that you pass to dodges again, he's going to dodge right into an area where defenders are already set up. So what we want him to do is pass. And then you can dodge again. We've got to move away from the area where the defense has just consolidated themselves. All right, so dodge, pass, pass, dodge. That doesn't mean you have to dodge again. You could dodge, pass, 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 and then dodge. But the bottom line is you don't want to dodge back into the same area that you just came from. So definitely keep that in mind. Okay, but essentially we like this offense. It supports our strengths. It allows you to go against man-to-man. It allows you to go against zone. Pretty much a very flexible, versatile offense, and it allows for a lot of creativity, which I'm going to go over next. Okay, what we're going to look at now is, I'm just going to hand draw this because it's a little bit easier, what some of the creative things are that we can do off this offense. Okay, we just talked about how when the midi dodges down the alley, the attack wing will push through. And what's important to understand is while he's doing that, his defender is going to stay with him, okay, because they're typically going to slide from the crease. They're going to bring this guy in, okay? And so since that's what's going on, sometimes his defender will get confused and he'll get lost. While that's happening, this attacker should keep an eye on his defender, and he can roll back. And if this midi is forced out, he now becomes a nice little pass back to the inside. Okay. And that's a great first option for the midi who's pushing down the alley. Now, the other midis are not standing still. They got to get creative as well. And if this guy just stays there, he's going to be in the way. So what he's really got to do is he's got to look to pop. Yeah, I did say pop. He's got to look to pop into about a 10-yard window from the goal on the backside. Because if the two slide cuts it down to cover the crease, he could be wide open for that pass across as well. Okay, so that's another option for the crease midi before he does what he should really be doing, which is going out and rotating. And that's what we say to players when they're looking at the triangle. But here's the thing, it's not that fluid. So he's going to pop into this area, and the other midi, instead of just coming straight over in a mechanical triangle, he's going to come down in here and he's going to look for his little 10-yard hole. So as this midi comes down and gets pushed out, he might have a pass back here. Now, if that doesn't exist, that's fine. We don't get all hung up about it. Cut down, look for it, and then pop high backside so that when this midi is looking for somebody to outlet to, he can move it back this way. And this crease midi who's just came out to the 10 is now two passes away from a pretty good shot. All right, so that's on the midi side. What are the attackers doing? Well, attack has a lot of options as well. In fact, we would prefer to initiate most of our offense from the attack. So if we do that, all right, usually it's from X, but when we work the triangle from X, and we dodge this way to maintain a triangle, this attacker has to come through, this attacker comes around. But again, it's not all that mechanical. All right, so as this attacker comes through, he may loop back and curl. He might come off of a screen set by this midi. All right, he may just continue on through, and this attacker might sneak in backside. So what that might look like is, as this attacker comes in, this one vacates. All right, as he gets pushed out, say the defender does a good job or the slide comes, the other attacker can sneak in backside and get a quick wraparound opportunity here. Okay, as you notice at that point, we've kind of broken the triangle, but all we've really done is invert it. We've just inverted that triangle by bringing this one over, this one under, and now we've got a point here, here, and here. We're still balanced, okay? We're just taking advantage of what the defense gives us. So it's not mechanical. It's not rigid, okay? You don't always have these perfect little triangles and move through robotically. You've got to be creative. You've got to be a good lacrosse player, and you've got to make good sense. So again, just maintain good lacrosse principles. As this attacker pushes here, this attacker only has three options. He can cut through, he can set a pick and then roll out and be that point of the triangle, or he could fade into a pop position here, look for a pass and finish there. Really, there are endless things, but if you follow the rules we just went over in the very start part of this video, if you just follow those simple rules, you'll be able to exploit anything the defense gives you out of this offense. And that's what we're looking for. A little bit of creativity. Always be scheming a way to get a good shot. And a good shot, guys, is a shot in the box. Defensively, we call it the box. We tell our defenders, get in the box. Well, we do that for a reason, because shots inside this 10 by 10 area are almost always high percentage shots, especially if you keep your shot overhand and you load up and release the ball quickly. It's not about power. It's about quickness. It's about position. It's about maintaining good high percentage shot positioning. So take a look at that. Let me know what your questions are.